Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone that can hear the sound of my voice to this week's edition of the Petty and Ill-Informed podcast, where we venture petty and informed opinions about a variety of topics. Joining me, as always, Tom, Nikki, and Phil. Welcome to the show. Tom, how are you?
Yeah, all's good. Lots of good things to report in due course throughout the evening, I hope.
Okay. Phil, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are all you doing today?
And Nikki, how are you?
Doing awesome.
Nikki's
I did a lot of errands today, so I rewarded myself when I got home. I actually did a lot of adulting today. I went into multiple stores, which, if anybody knows me, I hate shopping of any kind. So the fact that I was in town for 4 hours in multiple stores is like a big deal. Because I just don't want to leave my house ever. Basically.
And tonight's game is for Fred Smith. It's Skull and Bones, a piratey game with a piratey theme. So, Tom, you wanted to talk about the BBC's decision to step back from Glastonbury.
Right. Now this is a really interesting one. What happened was we've recently had a festival, the biggest, I believe, music festival in the British Isles is the Glastonbury Festival. Tickets cost an unspeakable amount. I suspect everything in there costs a fortune. So it's something alarmingly capitalist for something that was originally meant to be sort of for hipsters and had a real hipster vibe to it. I mean, for me, it's a case of so much for all that. Now, what's happened is a couple of people who were performing there have said some really controversial things. One dude, I mean, these people, they're all very lefty, and they're all very much in support of Palestine, which is a completely understandable position.
We're not. We can't get into that.
No,
the only time this show has got in trouble with YouTube is when we talked about that. We can't talk about that.
Okay, well, staying very firmly out of that. All I said was their position is understandable. I didn't
very lefty,
my own
yeah,
opinion one way or the other. But all positions are understandable. In this.
Yeah, to the person giving that position.
Diplomacy aside, what this guy said was death to the IDF. Now that's referring to the Israeli Defense Force. Now there is a question about whether or so we're not gonna go there, then we're not gonna go there. And I understand
was that
why.
The boss? Was that the boss?
But this has been interpreted as an anti-Semitic comment by many, and it's led to questions over the BBC's impartiality. And several people have had to step down. There are questions as to why it was raised. It was left on YouTube for 4 hours. But yeah, if
okay.
I have a genuine question to that, though. I don't understand where if you don't support Israel, you're automatically anti-Semitic. Isn't that like a prejudice against all Jews in general? Like they're not the only Jews in the world. Like you could hate Hollywood Jews and love Israel. Are you still an anti-Semite? Because you dislike one specific group?
I think you should be able to question Israel's foreign policy,
right?
Without
Absolutely.
that being
right. I was just saying I was on the same page with everybody, and I'm not crazy because it kills me when someone speaks like Mel. Okay, Mel Gibson has his own slew of problems, but one of which was him saying things about Jews in Hollywood. Kanye has a whole slew of crazy bipolar mess, just like Mel Gibson. He has issues with Hollywood Jews. They don't have a problem with Israel. I think Kanye has a problem with Jews in general. I think Kanye just anything to sell his next album is what he's going to do. But I don't feel like Mel Gibson is an anti-Semite because he doesn't like Hollywood Jews. That's an entire, that's like saying, I like gay people except for, I don't like tops. That doesn't mean that you hate all gay people. You just don't like tops. It's not a preference for you. I don't know. I just don't feel like being anti-Israel is being an anti-Semite.
Yeah, like I'm not against gays either, except for the one flaming idiot wearing all kinds of spangles and ribbons that ran across the frickin' highway right in front of my car on the way home.
There you go. But now you're homophobic.
Yeah, right.
Right? It doesn't make you homophobic. It just means that like that dude was a dick and he almost got hit by your car and that was his fault.
It was after the gay parade. It was like several hours after the gay parade, and I had to drive through Everett, and this idiot, and I'm like, and what are you going to do? You're going to say, you faggot, but it's
oh god. No,
but it's like it's but I wouldn't mind. I don't mind like a gay friend for my sons or anything like that. I'm fine with that. My son Nick has a gay friend, and he's fine. He's a cool guy. It's like people accusing Trump, hating gays or whatever, and he held a freaking wedding at his home for a gay friend of his that was marrying another guy. So it's like, oh, is he really?
I can say a lot of shit about what Trump is based on his actions. I haven't seen him really outright go against the LGBTQ community.
No,
he hasn't.
No.
I mean, there is a rhetoric within that party, but that doesn't mean that he shares that rhetoric. He can have all sorts of shit against him and 30-some felonies,
it's part of the anti-woke, right? I mean, it's like if you're anti-woke, it's like you're anti-LGBT. Kind of thing.
My thing is, I don't understand that terminology either. Anti-woke. So like woke is a bad thing. So you want to be asleep, snowflake. Oh no, you have empathy for other people. You freaking snowflake. You have feelings. I'm like, aren't those good things? Like, don't you want to be awake?
Not when it's deliberately pressed onto others.
I agree. Like social justice warriors that's why I have a hard time saying certain things, because I know that it's tied to that group of people and is socially left-leaning and liberal, as not liberal, but like super left-leaning as what I am. I have a hard time using those words because I hate SJWs.
SJWs.
Social justice warriors. The little keyboard warriors might be a little black girl and be like, or a little white girl and be like, oh, black people don't like blah, 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 blah. Just like huge virtue signalers. They just want. Social justice warriors will find anything within a totally reasonable thing that you said and then just pick at that one thing, disregard all other context, and say that you're an awful person. And I love the fact that Gen Z and Gen Alpha now are kind of gearing away from that. Like they want all of the we're going to love and respect each other, blah, blah, blah. Like bullying is really becoming an issue with the youth. They don't stand for it anymore. Not as much as they used to. They're being kinder, but they're also going, listen, people are allowed to have real freaking conversations with each other without screaming.
Yeah, like what we do.
Interesting point about social justice warriors. In Dungeons and Dragons, they get a +2 to initiative if the enemy does a microaggression.
Oh,
I love that.
Good on you, Richard.
That was good. That was good. Says the person with a D20 on her wrist. I got a tattoo a couple weeks ago.
Oh no.
Just a 20-sided die.
Okay, well, as far as the whole anti-Semite Israeli-Palestine thing goes, I'm neither Israeli nor Palestinian, so I don't care. I mean, that's their problem. We got our own problems in England. Yeah,
Boy, do
that's
ya.
where
how
I
I
stand.
feel.
That's where I stand.
I feel like we need, as a country, we need to stop funding other people's wars and butt out of everybody else's business and just take care of our people. Because right now, it's that's not what's happening. You know, everybody. I mean, Obama did nothing but bomb over
Yeah.
there. You know, we just need to stop.
Well, he not only bombed, but he also supported.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
bad.
You guys want money for weapons? Here you go. Biden did the same thing. We've had it, Obama, like every president we've had
Well,
since I can remember. Bush.
Correction. Biden didn't actually give Iran money. All he did was free up the money that was being held.
That's true.
The same result, but still,
Right.
just a correction.
But my thing is why are we funding it? Like, what would happen if we would stop doing that and just put our nose to the grinder with our own country?
Which leads to my opinion about nature and the way it should go, and how water should seek its own level. If you kind of follow what I'm saying, because it's very difficult to be the breadbasket for the entire world for free, and then expect something else not to be harmed by it.
Right.
So I think water should seek its own level, and let nature take its course.
I agree. Like, we just need it. Team America is such a great movie because of that. Like, it's literally, such a great parody for us.
Yeah,
it's exactly how we are. I mean, anyway, sorry, Tom, we went way off topic.
Yeah,
No, bring it on. It's all good.
Yeah, sorry. Did you want to say anything more about Glastonbury?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're talking about a censorship situation, right?
Yeah, but we don't have free speech in this country.
Well, I've been beginning to realize that lately. I mean, you guys have obviously seen it coming a long time. It's just been the last couple of weeks that I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, people get put in jail over here for Facebook posts. No joke.
We're about to do the same thing. I mean, we're tossing people out of the country because of Facebook posts and JD Vance memes and crap, and we won't let people into the country if they have, left-leaning posts. It's just weird. I think it's everywhere, because if you look at Canada's having, I mean, it's like the whole world is going in the same direction of just this social, like, what is that called? The social system that they have, like in Japan and stuff. You know what I'm talking about, right? Your social credit score. Like the social credit score, like that. Those things are legitimately like being worked towards. It's very strange, but I've noticed like Canada's cracking down a lot too. Like, everybody's getting, I think, because we have so much technology, I don't know, governments are kind of like, let us control everything.
I'm glad to see that it's not everybody. It's like our country isn't doing this to everybody that's posting. It's really picky choosy, and to the degree of what's being posted, because I'm a libertarian. I'm libertarian.
Yeah.
If you want to say something, I don't care who it's against, you have the right to say it. I mean, that's the way it is.
I think the difference in us is I think that you're a right-leaning libertarian. I'm a bit more left. Like, I've taken the little thing, but I'm the same way. Like, get the out of my business.
Right.
Like,
I'm coming around to the sovereign citizen form of libertarianism, if I'm honest.
My thing is there's things that they could spend their money on that are socialistic in nature that I think would be amazing to invest in for our country, but we just refuse.
I can see Richard right now grabbing a camera, walking into BBC and says, "Tell me about what you're doing in here," and shoving the camera in their faces.
We do have auditors over it. They don't last very long, but we do have them.
I bet.
I bet.
You put them in the gulag.
Yeah, they could tend to get arrested very quickly. But
Whereas
Look,
here we
they
fuck
caught
with
a
them
little
for a
something.
while. You know, listen. What is that one guy's name? Like that entire police department essentially has a
Doug.
yeah. He
And
can't get within 100 feet of the place. They have a protection order
no,
against a creditor.
Nikki, that's 5 miles from me. That's in Everett, Washington, here where I work.
That is, I knew it was close to you. That is
Oh, yeah.
hilarious. How is he not actively in prison if an entire police station has a restraining order against you?
well,
How?
what the auditors do isn't like super. It's not felonious. It's misdemeanors.
I get it, but after so many misdemeanors, you think that they would be like,
The problem with Doug was that he was technically interfering with the duties of a law officer. The officer's trying to do his job, and he was getting right in the middle of it and shoving his camera like in like a suspect's face and shit like this. Is like, okay, dude, this ain't gonna work, you know. And then he appears before the judge, and he gets, I don't know, fined. That's how it started with him. He kept getting fines, and then he didn't show up, and then they issued a misdemeanor warrant, and it just ballooned. I mean, he brought it all on himself.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they get auditors for like felonies, like accountability for all in New England. Read someone their Miranda rights after, so they did him for police impersonation, and he got a year for that. I don't really agree with that, but I understand why.
There was a guy that was posing as a police officer that had like emergency lights on his car, and he was actually pulling people over and asking for the driver's license and stuff.
I'm surprised Richard isn't giving you his name. We've watched so much of his things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Jeremy DeWitt.
Yeah, I think that's who it is.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The guy's a dick.
Oh yeah, I think he actually pulled over a police officer, and that's how he got.
Yes,
caught.
Yeah, that's how he got caught. Yeah,
unmarked police officer.
That's gotta suck. I mean, credit to him, he tried to blag his way out of it, but you're just screwed in that case. So obviously, guys,
and he had a warrant at the time.
We'd all want to win the lottery, right? That's something we'd all want to do.
Yeah.
Well, what would you say if I said you won the lottery and they told you it was a certain amount of money, and then it turned out it wasn't?
It
I don't know.
depends. How much difference are we talking?
We're talking the difference between $100,000 and $10.
Okay, so there was an extra zero.
Well, if the answer is no, you would not like that to happen. Thank God
No.
you're not Norwegian, because that is what happened to thousands of Norwegians who were incorrectly informed of big lottery wins. The National Lottery operator in Norway apologized after at least 47,000 people who won small amounts were mistakenly told they had won much more.
So it was
basically it came down to a error in the conversion, because the lotteries run in Germany for Norway, and the Germans use the euro, but in Norway they use the krona. So
I prefer the Corona Light.
Yeah, come on,
It's
Richard.
nice
So
with a slice of lime.
the error occurred during conversion for the recent Euro jackpot drawing, where the number of euros was multiplied by 100 instead of being divided. Said he was initially told he'd won 1.2 million krona, about 120,000 grand, But later he learned his prize was only 125 kroner or $12.40.
So hang on, wait, what? Because the difference between dividing by 100 and multiplying by 100 is a difference of 10,000. So what? How much did he think he'd won?
Over a million.
120,000.
He thought he'd won 120,000.
No, he was told he'd won 120,000.
Yeah, but he'd won
$12.40.
12. Yeah, God, it is. Yeah, that's right. When you divide 120,000, the exact by 10,000, it's 12. Wow.
So,
That checks out.
so on a positive note, he's up $12.
I was just about to say it was $12 he didn't have. You know,
You could have
$2
been
for the ticket,
yeah. So
$10.
from $10 for gas.
Of course, the price for the tickets.
Listen,
Yeah.
I get excited whenever I get a free ticket on a scratch off. Okay,
Well,
you give me $12.40, and I'm excited. I'm going to cash it out right now.
he went on to say
Sorry.
that you could have been really unlucky and spent a large amount of money, then found out it wasn't true. Well, yeah, but thankfully, everybody that was told this did not appear to have done this. None of the
That's
incorrect
good.
prize amounts have been paid out. North Tipping sincerely apologised to everyone who was notified of an incorrect prize amount. Well, that's a hell of a discrepancy, though. Can you
Mhm.
imagine?
Hilarious.
I would not spend that money until it was in my hand.
That's
and
right.
The taxes were paid for.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm all about a lump sum. Give me a lump sum. I don't care if you take 50% of it. If I have
Right.
$1 million, 500,000 is nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It looks like
So-
the CEO was sacked as a result.
No,
Good for him.
it was an honest mistake.
Shit
honest
happens.
Yeah. Just
So,
because
do you
there
remember-
are thousands of people outside with torches and, you know,
Pitchforks with
42,000 people show up.
Oh, we want a word with you, mate. Oh, that's
We
awful,
want
though. Imagine because they got a
$100,000.
text. They got a text on their phone telling them they'd won that much money.
I would have never believed it. If I got a text on my phone right now saying it was
What,
from
from the
Powder, I would
lottery?
just assume. Yeah, I would just assume that it was a fake text. Like,
Right.
oh, you fishing bastards.
But if you could watch the lottery and see the numbers on your card,
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and then you got that text after that.
That's true. That's true.
yeah.
I mean, that's horrible. So, do you remember 3 weeks ago we did a story about a dog that defended his home from a bear?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, now we've got a new one
A bear
bear
defending
trap.
itself.
from a
bear
dog.
defending his house from a dog.
No,
Hey,
bear
we talked about
stuck in
this. I
this
love this.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh,
we
there
watched
we go.
another bear video on here. Are we allowed to hear?
That bear is barely visible.
We are not hearing.
No.
No.
What?
Let's
You
try
could have
that
just
again.
hit the volume.
No, it was playing for me.
Oh,
Mm,
well, aren't you
Oh,
lucky?
I don't
I
see
mean, we saw
nothing
the
now.
video. We saw the video, but now we don't see anything but a black screen.
Correct.
Yeah,
This is
on
the
a
black
different
screen
browser.
version. This is a late night
Mhm.
version for all you night owls.
Yeah, this is
Second.
our Helen Keller hour. Now everybody
I've
be
told
quiet.
you
Quiet too.
the Helen Keller conspiracy theory, right?
That she didn't. That she
was
wasn't.
bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was all bullshit, and it was actually
feel
a
that.
mind of doing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that 100%.
Absolutely.
Okay, here we
I
go.
mean, somebody
Back
wrote a
in-
story, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now,
Hi,
There
yeah,
we go.
okay,
Preston.
love the
Oh,
music.
there's a bear in there.
There's a bear.
There's a bear in there.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, here's
That's
what we're
not
gonna
happy.
do. I got a rope, so I'll just
A
tie it to
rope?
the door handle. I'll go up there or back over here, and we'll just pull it open, and he can run out.
Yeah, you don't want to be anywhere near that door when you open it.
Mm-mm. However, that one little cub that went into the car, I would have opened my car door and let it out.
Oh yeah, if it was a cub. Okay, we're gonna go ahead.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
The bear does not sound very happy.
All right, is it unlocked?
You're about to find out.
Dude's bravely at the top of his decking there, just far away as possible.
Yes, it's unlocked.
I would have gotten in the other vehicle, you know, or something.
What about the cougar that's in the other car?
Come on,
Right.
go on, go on.
I don't think
Your car is destroyed.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah, bears can tear the whole thing apart.
Okay. Important to lock your cars and keep all food and stuff out.
Okay, there we are.
Or don't park in downtown Seattle because it'll be on fire by tomorrow. I mean, they're blaming bears. I mean, what about people? People do a lot more than bears do.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched a video and it was they were in a shopping center or whatever, and a bear was out there like trying to get in car doors, and it opened up a car door and climbed in, and then the car door shut. And I was like, could you imagine just like going to Kroger and then you walk out, go to your car, and there's there's like a bear in your car. But
Yeah.
it looks small. I probably would have let it out.
I maintain that if it was you after work, you still would have driven home.
Yeah,
Probably.
probably.
Yeah.
Just
Still,
been like-
listen,
Like, move over.
right now
Been
I
a
can
long
use the
day
hub
for me,
lane.
Pear. If you're staying in, you're staying in and shutting up. I'm driving home. Could use
Well,
the
yeah,
carpool lane
locally,
on the plus side.
locally we've had bears in some communities. I mean, we're talking actual communities, like, and it's bears walking around town, you know. And this one gal, she was walking out her slider in onto her back deck, and here's a bear, and it's like, there's no bears around here. Oops.
Whoops.
What's the expression? If it's black, standard fight. If it's brown, lay down. If it's white, you're gonna die.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. See, black bears will try to bluff charge you, but if you stand your ground or even approach it or run towards it, it'll run away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Black bears are like that. They'll just run off.
Grizzly bears, no,
Mm-mm.
not so much.
No. With grizzly bears, you just basically have to just be calm. I mean, just don't do anything. Just let the grizzly bear roam around because he's not going to attack you unless he feels threatened. But if he's just, grubbing around or just walking by, just let him walk by. And don't run. Don't run or scream or do anything. Just like, hi, grizzly bear. Having a nice day.
Yeah, Timothy Treadwell tried that once. It did not go well for him.
Well, wasn't he? He was the guy who was feeding him, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was habituated.
Yeah. God, it was like, well, where's my handout, dude? I'm pissed.
No, it wasn't that. He stayed up when they were stuffing for hibernating, and they were trying to get all the food they could. So it was his own fault.
Yeah. And he says, come on, let's play.
All right, yeah, we'll play. All right, I got a game.
Dumbass. But he had been doing that a while. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, years.
Yeah. So he just made a dumb mistake, which cost him his life.
Yeah, costly one, but yeah.
He'll never do that again.
And our final news story is this hilarious video. It's not very long, but South Carolina troopers chase loose pig in the middle of the highway traffic.
Pigs chasing pigs. Cats and dogs living together.
That's
Here,
special.
piggy, 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 piggy.
Total pandemonium. Well, we got this pig here.
I see
Well,
a
at least it
small
wasn't
brown pig.
At least it wasn't a greased pig.
Right? That would have made it better. He's like, I know how to catch me a pig.
I won an award last year.
That's hilarious.
Hey, got him. Yeah.
Drag that pig right on across the street.
And the pig's like,
It's just what I'm used to doing at this point.
Yeah, you know, calling pig. Yeah.
I mean, the police do get called up for the weirdest crap.
somebody
Like-
took a family took the pig. Pork tonight, that's for sure.
His name was Chris P. Bacon.
So yeah, slow news week, but
That was adorable. Little
Poor
piggies.
pig.
There's a conspiracy theory around TikTok that's beautiful. They think that pigs are human,
Mm-hmm.
that God cursed. And that's why they got like human looking eyes, and why they call human meat long pig.
And why pigs taste like human flesh.
And why
Who
God cast
calls-
all the demons into the pig.
who
You've never-
calls human long pig?
You've never heard human meat called long pig.
Never.
It is totally a thing, I promise.
Okay, I mean,
Just
Phil,
that
have you heard it called long pig?
No, I haven't.
Hold on. Where's the thing for it?
But I am getting seasick.
Yeah,
Arr.
long pig, a translation of a term formerly used in some Pacific islands for human flesh as food.
Oh,
Okay.
Pacific Islands. Oh, awesome.
it's
yeah.
your neck of the woods, Phil. So
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a euphemism for human flesh, stemming from the belief that it tastes similar to pork. The long part of the term likely refers to the longer limbs of humans compared to domestic pigs, highlighting the size and shape similarities in terms of cuts of meat, according to Brill. However, I've listened to a lot of people and cultures that do delve in cannibalism, and they all say it's very sweet, that it tastes great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just
Trust
saying.
you, Nikki. You're the only person I know, well, apart from Gabby, maybe, who would know that.
What, the long pig thing, or
No.
the human meat tasting sweet?
The latter.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of cultures that still consume human flesh. I mean, some have had to stop because they were having problems with like kuru, because it's part of their, in some cultures, it was part of their death rites. You would eat specific parts of your family, the dying person's body. So like the son got, like the heart or the liver or whatever, but like it was part of what they did was consume the meat. Like you would eat the brain to get the wisdom and stuff like that.
But there's not a lot of cultures that eat that. I mean,
No, I mean, like that was in Papua New Guinea, and they supposedly have stopped that since the mid 60s, which, because of the kuru issue or the laughing disease, it's a prion, and there's no cure for it. Basically, it turns your brain into Swiss cheese. It's called the laughing disease because people break out into hysteric laughter towards the end.
he eats his brothers. There's something funny about that guy.
Yeah. But the crazy and scary thing about prions, which are still around, is you might have them for decades and decades and never even know it, and get surgeries and infect other
Yeah.
people with your prions.
Yeah. Well, what happens if you eat crayons?
Well, nothing. You shit
Oh.
pretty colors, I guess.
Okay. I just
Confetti.
I'm with Tom on this one. Yeah, you're kind of weird.
It's a medical thing. I don't know.
Well, so you're just operating on people, and a doctor just casually turns to you and says, "You know, they call human meat long pig."
Well, no, I was in college and I had to do a paper on something I found interesting, and it
Oh.
just happened to be on prions. But I think I've known the term long pig since I was young, and I don't know if maybe it was in a horror movie where they use that.
Or your uncle. Hey, you ever try a long pig?
You ever had some long pig there, Nikki? No. But I don't know. I don't know where I heard it, but I've known that term for probably since a teenager. So it had to have come from maybe Tales from the Crypt or something.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. That would explain it, because you're like into that genre.
Yeah, I mean, like I think a lot of Gen X kids were like that in general. Like our parents didn't really care about what we watched on television, and I think a lot of us were exposed to horror movies and shows like, very early. I think I was like 4 or 5 when I started watching Tales from the Crypt and shows like that. So yeah.
Thus the Nikki disease.
Thus the Nikki disease, where she's
Oh,
into
dear.
all that stuff. Or the Nikki disease where she asks you to watch a horror movie and it's awful.
I wasn't going to
Yeah.
say anything. All
Yeah, I
right.
just decided to. We had a really bad evening last night.
Yeah, that was
Most of the
awful.
is there a story here, or one that we
Yeah.
don't want to tell? I don't know.
Yeah, no. Oh no, we watched I have been told by a lot of my friends who I thought I trusted in the horror community that I needed to watch Clown. And so we watched it and it was awful. And then Richard was like, "Oh, we should watch this horror movie." It was called Wolfman, and it was awful.
Yeah,
It was
just
really
like-
bad.
Which
It's a
version of Wolfman was it?
the new
Not
one.
the Nick-
Sort of bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
not the
You mean
good
just a
kind of
rubbish
bad.
film?
Just bad. It's just bad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, not worth watching.
The
I
acting
mean,
was terrible. The story was terrible. The characters were unrelatable. Nothing about it was good.
so
Hmm.
it's not bad as in so utterly revolting it's unpalatable. Let me guess, that doesn't exist, right?
it's very meh. Well,
No,
I mean,
there is
no,
such a
there's
thing as it's so bad it's good. We watched this other horror movie called Willy's Wonderland, which is utterly terrible, but it's really good because of how bad it is.
yeah, I absolutely
Well, I
recommend
don't
it to
mean
people,
that. I mean,
especially if you
like-
like Nick Cage.
I mean, is there such a thing as too gross?
I can't stand Nicholas.
Is there such a thing as too gross? You mean in a horror movie?
No.
Yeah,
No,
No.
not for me. No, because I really like
that's
they
what I
call it
thought.
they call it gore porn. Like if I could find a movie that was just exactly like the last 20 minutes of Hostel, I would be so excited. Just the last
There's-
20 minutes of Hostel. It's such a visceral. The rest of the movie's crap, right? But the last 20 minutes.
There is such a
Well,
thing
I've
as
seen
too gross for
Hostel.
me. And
I've seen Hostel, but I can't. The last 20 minutes. Isn't that
Yeah,
when he's
that's
trying to
when-
bust out of there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like when
That's
it actually
literally-
gets good.
when
And
there's
he's trying-
anything happens in that movie, it's the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, as soon as he gets captured is when I'm down for that movie. The rest of it's trash.
I thought. Because I'm trying to think. I remember he escapes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He does, but I mean,
has to
like,
pretend
there are
he's one of
people
them.
being right, and there are people being tortured and stuff like that.
Stuff like that.
Stuff like
Yeah.
that.
The
What's-
average torture chamber stuff.
What's your limit, Richard? You're obviously thinking about something.
My obvious limit.
Yeah, you said it could be too much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into gore porn like you are. I don't like, there's a bit in Hostel where her eyes hanging out, and I'm like, ugh, that's a bit too much. Wrist cutting, I can't handle that at all. That just triggers me. But yeah.
Mm.
What about you, Tom? Where's your limit?
I mean, I'm not. I'm just not big on horror. Sorry to disappoint. I'm not big. My entire horror collection is about half a dozen films. I think it's Get Out,
That was a good.
Tucker
One.
and Dale versus Evil,
That's
Great
amazing.
movie.
The Fog, the original one from about 1980 or something.
That wasn't bad.
Silence of the Lambs, if that counts as a horror film.
That's a psychological thriller.
I have the
yeah,
entire
okay,
series
so-
of that, including the ones where they had different Hannibals.
And
I like
that's-
the original.
I've
Me too.
I've got I don't know if it probably isn't a horror film, but Pan's Labyrinth.
That
I would-
Not a horror film
movie
at all.
may
I've
as
never-
well
I've never
be a
got round to watching
freaking
it.
horror film. Dude, that
I've
movie
never
is
got
so
round to watching it.
unsettling. You need to watch it. It is such a great
Okay.
it's a great film. The visuals are beautiful. If you're into symbology, great symbology, very disconcerting throughout the whole thing. It's a really sad movie, but it's so good.
Okay, well,
We're talking about,
I've got it on DVD.
Pan's
haven't got round
Labyrinth,
to
not
watching it.
Labyrinth with David Bowie. Pan's
Yeah,
Labyrinth.
yeah.
No, I've got both. The other one is the only other horror film up there. Oh, I've got one I haven't. I've got two more. I've got one I haven't watched called Let the Right One In. Spanish, I think it might be.
Yeah, never heard of that one.
It's got a very, very good reputation.
Is that the found footage one?
No, I don't think so. I'm
I
not
love
sure.
found
I
footage
don't.
films. That's my guilty pleasure.
Well, okay. And then the other one was the other one I've got that I haven't watched. It's called. Sorry, the DVD's on the other side of the room. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
sorry,
not
hang on.
You're not in horror either, Phil?
Just while I'm
I'm
just
not
while
into
I'm
the.
trying to find it.
I'm not into the later
Right.
horror films. And when in the 1980s when they came out with slasher films.
Oh,
they
I
would
love a
just-
good slasher.
I was like, okay, well, it's like the same format
Mhm.
over and over again. No, I think my favorite era for horror movie, if you want to call it that, are the Hammer ones, the Hammer films. The classic.
Oh, sorry,
Hammer.
I've remembered the other one. The other one I've got is called The Babadook.
Oh, you haven't seen Babadook? It's okay.
No, I have watched it. I quite like that one. It doesn't rely on jump scares, and I don't,
Yeah.
I like that more sophisticated way of doing things. So you were saying,
I like
Phil,
a
Hammer
good
horror.
jump scare. Yeah.
What's a Hammer film? I don't know what that is.
No, the Hammer films.
They're
I don't think I've seen them.
Okay.
well, they have
Christopher Lee,
Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing.
Peter Cushing, vampires, werewolves,
Oh, hold on.
1970s, late 60s, 70s.
Okay, I have seen those. All right. Those are good.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
a bit daft. They're a
Yeah,
little
the
bit
Hammer,
silly.
the Hammer Film Company made, in my opinion, the best films in their time, and it's a British outfit, obviously.
Yeah.
Great films, real groundbreaking too. I mean, in the 60s, real groundbreaking stuff.
Okay, I'll have to There's multiples.
Yeah, just let's look up Hammer films and start watching them.
I'm gonna, because I know I've seen that.
They even redid The Mummy and shit like that. I mean, they really do a lot of good movies.
Oh wait, looking at them, I've seen a good majority of these. I think I have a box set with these.
Oh, okay.
I have seen the original Mummy. I know that.
Yeah, with Boris.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a lot of these.
Anyway,
'Cause
that's
I love we established last week, I think, off of being live, that I really love old movies.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm a big, I like House of Wax, the
Yeah.
original with Vincent
Yeah.
Price. Was
Vincent
Vincent Price, when I was younger, like I would watch the entire Thriller like video, and as soon as Vincent Price started talking at the end, I would turn it off because
Because it was
everything in that video was fine. Zombies, everything. But Vincent Price's voice scared the hell out of me.
I know. He does a great job.
He really, in that laugh, man, to this day, that laugh still messes me up. I love that laugh. He's
The
just,
cackle. Yeah.
Yeah.
he's so good.
The
Like, he just was so good. But, you know, I thought that the movie that Tom hadn't seen was going to be something like 13 Ghosts or House on Haunted Hill.
I feel like House on Haunted Hill is one of the most overrated horror films I've ever been forced to
I really
watch.
liked it.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I do too. It's just enough schlock to make it cool.
James
What
Marsters.
happens in it?
Okay,
What
so
happens
this
in
is
that film?
okay. There's two of them. There's an original with, I want to say Vincent Price was in the
Yes,
original,
That's Vincent
and
Price.
then there's a new one, and that has Jeffrey Rush in it, who's playing. He does a great job as a Vincent Price. Honestly, he's just phenomenal. Famke Jensen,
I love Jeffrey Rush.
Peter Gallagher's in it. Not Will Ferrell, the other Chris Kattan from The Night in the Roxbury's, like Taye Diggs. You'll recognize everybody in that cast. And I remember watching it when it first came out in the movie theater, and I think I was like 14 and my boyfriend was like 20 or 21 at the time. And we stayed on the phone with each other all night because both of us were afraid to go to sleep. And I haven't had a horror movie that I've loved as much as that one or 13 Ghosts in a long time. Because I don't know. I just think that our modern day horror sucks.
13 Ghosts.
I love 13 Ghosts.
You think 13 Ghosts is scary?
It's not
No.
scary. No, 13.
No.
I said it's one of my favorites. It's not scary.
It's got Matthew
great.
Lillard in it.
Lillard with an L, Lillard. And I will
Well,
not have you
whatever.
talk trash about Matthew Lillard.
Well,
I'm tired
you know,
of your shit.
any film he's in is terrible just because
That
he's
is
in
a
it.
lie. I
Just
love
because he's in
Matthew
it, he brings
Lillard.
it down.
He's wonderful. You can't hold one bad movie
I
against
can
three
if
good
it's
actors.
without a paddle. I can hold
Hold
it
on,
against
hold
him.
on. I need to go get some popcorn. I'll be all right.
Yeah, we're about to fight. Anyway, 13 Ghosts is great.
No, it
But anyway, House on Haunted Hill. This man has a very contentious relationship with his wife. He's very, very rich. It is her birthday. He rents out this haunted mansion that, well, it's supposed to be haunted. It's scary because it was turned into a mansion after it had been used as a mental ward where they were doing like horrible human experimentation on these people. So anyway, he rents this place. His wife wants all of her friends there. It's her birthday party, right? She sends out an invitation. He intercepts them and invites a bunch of people that, you know, he doesn't know. But basically, I don't think he does. The house invites a bunch of people, and it's like he basically, you know, do you want $1 million? You stay the night and you survive in this house overnight, you get that $1 million. So that's the whole thing. Is it's supposed to be a birthday party for funsies, and then shit goes south.
It's another
But
one of
it's
them
really
films
good.
where nothing happens until the last 20 minutes. And then it's just not worth it.
I love that movie. Shut your face hole.
boring.
It's a
It's not as
psychological.
boring.
A psychological thriller.
Yeah, it's not as boring as like Hellraiser, and people love the hell out of Hellraiser.
I
The
don't like
scariest
Hellraiser. It's
the
my least
scariest
favorite
I've never
slasher
seen
film.
thing-
it again. Never seen it.
the scariest thing about Hellraiser is in the first 30 seconds, this guy is drumming his fingers on a table, and his fingernails are like jam packed with dirt underneath them. That's like the scariest, most grotesque part of the entire movie. I tried so hard to get into
I
it.
don't care about Hellraiser. It's a dumb movie.
They're dumb. Yeah.
They are dumb.
They're
never
just
seen
not
that one.
good. Don't. It's just not worth it. Everybody has this big thing about Pinhead, and I was like, oh, I've got to see. It's dumb. It's just dumb.
Oh.
Go watch. Go
Well,
watch.
that's
What?
I was just going to say, the most harrowing film I've ever seen isn't a horror film. The most sort of, I don't know, I can't think of a better word than harrowing. The most troubling, the most frightening and sorrowful film I have ever seen is it's a disaster film. It's based on a true story. It's called North Face. And it's about these 4 guys that try to climb the north face of the Eiger, try to be the first people to do it, which is a extremely, it's the hardest mountain route in the Alps. It was the last great route to be climbed. And it is, it's a near vertical cliff face that just goes like a mile straight up
Wow.
at the edge of the Swiss Alps. And it's these 4 guys try to climb it in the 1930s, and everything that can go wrong does go wrong. And it's I don't want to spoil it, but just it's terrible. It's just absolutely terrible. Everything about
I'll have to
it,
check it out.
it just becomes truly terrible. And after I watched that, I could not sleep. I was just up in bed, just absolutely stunned by what I'd just seen.
That was me with the Gray Zone the
It
first
is
time
an
I saw
incredible
it.
film. Oh, that you had me watch that. I dug it out. I found it at a branch of CX, you know, that secondhand shop I rave about. And
The sex shop.
Hmm. The sex shop.
what? Oh
The
yeah,
sex
yeah.
shop.
Sorry, yeah. They call it. I see what you mean. Yeah. I never even bother with that pun. I think it's so silly. And you know that if you I was trying to look. When I was trying to sell something there, I had to look up something online or something like that. And I said, I can't get any Wi-Fi. They went, oh, you need to log into our Wi-Fi code, our free Wi-Fi. If you can't get data here, then do that. And they said and then you go into go into like available Wi-Fi networks, when it searches for networks. And their one is called unprotected sex because anyone can sign in. You
Yeah.
don't need a password.
That's nice.
So funny.
That'd
Yeah.
be something I would do. But yeah, that's one that kept me up for a few hours. It took me a while to decompress from that film. And it's not a horror movie. It's just a World War II movie. And it's just very slow, but it affected me a lot.
All Quiet on the Western
Oh, it's
Front
ghastly.
did that to me.
All Quiet on the Rest. What's
the
that about?
original or the remake?
Both, but like, the original's way worse than the new one. But yeah, that one was harrowing for me. Just the futility of it.
What is it
Yeah.
about?
Well,
It's about a German
First
soldier
World War.
in the First World War who gets fed a load of propaganda and thinks joining the army is the best thing to do. They're losing at this point in the war, and he goes off to fight in the Western Front, and he watches all his friends die, and then he dies.
Yeah, it is.
Thus-
This is a very much a pacifist mess.
And then all things became quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
No, it is very good.
Yeah, it's a great
just very
film, but it did mess with me.
It's like
Oh.
1917, that war movie. That was really good. Good.
Yeah,
movie.
that was really good.
Which
We
one?
loved that.
1917.
1917.
I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, you watch that one.
Okay. I will watch it.
All right. I feel like that's a good stopping point.
All righty.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Uh-huh.
We will return next week, despite the hopes of many. It's good night from them, and it's good night from me. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.